Hey there, little snowflakes. It's me, More Than a Girl, aka Sydney. And today's video is going to be a little bit different than my normal videos. I believe that when I was doing the Otherkin tag, the most recent one, I talked about my Dragonkin type. And I think I said that I would elaborate a little bit more on that particular kin type because it is the only one that I think was a past life. But before we can get into that, I think it would be helpful for anyone who's watching to know a little background information about me and my personal beliefs / practices. Just so the talking about the Dragonkin type and the past life and how that all works will make a little bit more sense, hopefully, after watching this video. So, here we go. For those of you who don't know, I am a witch, or I call myself a witch. I'm not Wiccan per se because there's a lot of practices that go into that, and it's a lot more structured than what I'm really ready for. I have been practicing witchcraft on and off since I was about 12 years old. But I haven't really, I don't do a lot, I guess. Like spells and stuff aren't really big rituals for me like they are for some people. There's not a lot of preparation, and and that's fine. I mean, there's a lot of people who are like that, who just, their spell can be, drawing an invisible pentagram over a glass of water and then drinking it to, protect and purify themselves for, whatever purposes. Witchcraft doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to have all of these rituals like a lot of books on witchcraft seem to tell you. Anyway, this is supposed to be about spirit work and astral projection versus astral travel and hedge witchcraft. So, for those who don't know, spirit work and spirit workers are just people who engage with the spirit world. And the spirit world doesn't mean like dead people, though it can, but it also means like gods and goddesses, other deities, magical creatures like fairies and dragons and what have you, and also humans. There are dead human spirits or regular human spirits, as far as I'm aware. I did a little bit of research, but it seems like spirit work in the spirit world means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. For me, the spirit world, there's a rooster walking around behind me. The spirit world is just a dimension that is parallel to the one we are in now, but it is extremely different. Not like geographically or anything. I mean, it's pretty much the same. There are some places in that world that are different from their counterparts here, but like all the people are different. There are different people there. and it's a place where magical creatures and gods can exist, where here, contrary to what a lot of people believe, magical things don't really exist here, but they do leave kind of, I guess you could call them like shadows. Like some people can see spirits. That's where you get spirit workers, mediums, and psychics and all of that. But for the most part, people can't see magical creatures here because this plane of existence isn't conducive to magical energies, I guess. That's how it was always explained to me. So I only learned that spirit work and spirit workers were a thing like a year ago because I have a friend who is one. I have a friend who's one. I have two friends actually, I think, but I feel like one of them, I don't know, is more knowledgeable about it. But I have friends who have spirit companions and can see spirits. And, I've been able to see spirits since, well, I really remember around 10 years old is when I can remember that I actually started seeing them. But I was probably seeing them before. I just can't remember, who can remember when they're like 5 years old. And I always thought I was alone. I thought I was kind of crazy. But then I met this person who could see things too. And then I found this whole community on like YouTube and Tumblr of spirit workers and people who astral traveled, and I found out that like, hey, I'm not crazy. It's actually a thing. Like it's a thing. And that was really great. It's really great when you find out that, you're probably not crazy. But yeah, for the longest time, I didn't know that this was a thing. I didn't know that astral travel and astral projection were real things. I thought it was just something that, was in the show Charmed. I thought it was just like a magical make-believe type of thing. I didn't know people actually did it. So let's talk about the difference between astral travel and astral projection. See, I always thought I was astral projecting, but after hearing what my friend had to say and doing a little bit of research on my own, I figured out that I was most likely just astral traveling. The difference between the two is in astral travel, you are just projecting your consciousness into different visual scenes and it feels like you're really there. But with astral projecting, you are projecting your astral body, or what I always call an ethereal being, because, it's not your physical being, it's your ethereal being. You're projecting your astral body into different places, and you actually know that you're there. So astral travel doesn't involve coming out of your body, where astral projection does. And I hear that a lot of people astral project without even realizing it, like in their dreams. And I don't know if that happens to me. Probably not. But I do astral travel. That's pretty much what I've been doing. Whenever I say, like, I kind of drop out and kind of, I guess, visit the astral plane or the spirit world, or I always called it Cambral because that's what the people there told me it was called. They told me it was the dimension next to ours, which is the third dimension, so of course I called it the fourth dimension. But we'll just call it the astral plane because that sounds a little less crazy, in my opinion. And yeah, I can basically go there whenever I want. But for me, I don't know if I just need more practice, but for me, when I travel to the astral plane, I can only hear and see things. I can't physically feel anything. Like if a spirit touches me, I can't feel it physically. Like my brain will be like, oh, you're touching me, and so like I'll know that it's happening, but I can't actually feel it like my physical skin, because my physical skin isn't being touched, you know? Same thing with, you know, like tasting and smelling, right? Because like there's nothing actually in your face, but your mind can see and hear when you're astral traveling. I don't know if I just need more practice and other people can actually like feel things in the astral plane, but I personally can't. This video is getting kind of long, and I'm rambling. Okay, so another thing I wanted to talk about was hedge witchcraft, or hedge witches, which I've always heard of, but I didn't really know what they were. Hedge witches are witches who primarily work with the astral plane and with astral traveling and with energies, and sometimes with spirits. The term hedge witch came from the saying to jump over the hedge, which, you know, into like another world, and hedge witches are said to live between worlds, like between this world and the astral plane, or, you know, whatever world that they go into. And I would say that I'm like a hedge witch, but just because like I have been kind of shifting between worlds since like my earliest memories of seeing spirits was probably in 5th or 6th grade. And you know, it was just kind of a unconscious thing. Like I would just see, it started with like seeing spirits, for lack of a better word. Like they're not dead people as far as I'm aware, but you know, beings from this other world, I would see them, and then I think that came before actually going to the astral plane, but I know they kind of happened at the same time. Okay, so I think that as for spirit work, I wouldn't call myself a spirit worker because I don't actually work with the spirits I meet. Usually we just, because I mean, like I guess people will like form bonds with spirits and then do magical things with them, I guess. Because I hear there's like companions, guardians, guides, or just regular old spirits. And see, like, I don't work with the spirits I see. Like, sure, we're like friends, I guess, but I might, you know, ask them if they want to help with some spell or another, but again, I don't really do a lot of big spells. I'll do like kind of just like simple sort of like affirmation type spells, but I won't like go do these big elaborate things. Like, my practice is very simple and kind of go with the flow, do whatever feels right at the moment. So I don't really ask for help a lot, even though I do have some spirit companions, because they're not really guardians or guides. I do have a guardian, but like she kind of just hangs around. She doesn't really like, you know, because I mean, I was in like spiritual danger once a few years ago, and she helped me out with that, but other than that, I don't really need a lot of, you know, guarding. Most of the spirits that I know are just kind of like companions. We don't really work, so that's why I wouldn't consider myself a spirit worker. Just hedge witch, astral traveling. I I don't do a lot of spells, so I don't need a lot of help from my spirit companions. I have recently gotten, well, recently, like the last year, gotten a dragon, more like companion. I mean, it was supposed to be like a guardian guide type thing, but again, you know, I'm sure she would totally guard and guide me if I asked her to. She said that before, but I don't need a lot of guarding or guiding. And I mean, if I do, sure, I'll ask, but most of the time I just have them as companions, and they kind of pop in whenever they want. We don't have like a really, you know, because you're supposed to be all like give and take. I don't really take a lot, I don't really give a lot. We just kind of, you know, hang out when we want. I'm not really a professional. I mean, it's just always been like that. And this video is over 16 minutes long, so I'm gonna shut up. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it wasn't sounding too crazy. I know it was really rambly. Next video, maybe I'll talk about my dragonkin type and how this all relates to my hedge witchery, witchcraft, and you know, astral travel and spirit working. And remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay special, little snowflakes. Bye.